Basically saying because of that, this guy's not going to be around anymore. Stephen, what was your reaction to Clyde's comments?
Saying that LeBron is not with the team, that he doesn't care anymore. First of all, Walt, nobody cares about your suits. Nobody cares about your mustache, your haircut, or anything. I was born in '78. I don't know too much about you. This generation don't know too much about you. I'm sorry, bro. You way out of line. I mean, anytime a team's losing, anytime LeBron losing, everything is magnified. Yep. He always sits at the end of the bench. And if anybody on that team is coming out and saying he's a bad teammate or we don't want to play with him, no. Walt, you way out of line. You need to worry about getting up to date with your suits and stop worrying about what LeBron doing.
Here's the thing that I don't get, and people are missing their opportunity. For last 8 years, people have been waiting to jump on LeBron for something. And this year, there's actually legitimate basketball criticisms. That fourth quarter last night, he was real bad. He was bad. He tried to do too much. He didn't play the way LeBron.
It's not the first bad fourth quarter you've had, though.
No, of course. No. But just follow me along here for a moment. There's legitimate criticism about the team, about his relationship with Walton, about his performance on the defensive end, all of that. And at the end of the game, last 4 possessions, LeBron missed 3, block layup, missed jumper, and then Hazonia kills him in the game. They lose the game. They blow an 11-point lead with 3.5 minutes left. But this stuff is nonsense. And I might like Walt Clyde Frazier more than you do, Stephen.
I don't.
But I don't think Clyde knew he was talking to a teammate. The white guy he's talking to right there is a trainer, and he gets either a Kleenex or some athletic tape from him. And the guy sitting next to him is Tyson Chandler. Later in the game, Walt kills him again for making guys scoot down a seat. He and Lonzo are talking to each other and joking during that clip. LeBron always sits in that spot. Every team he's been on, he sits in that spot. It's not as if he was in the game, going to go back into the game. Luke's drawing up a play, and he's sitting way away from everybody. This is a ridiculous thing to criticize LeBron about when there are legitimate criticisms of LeBron this year and in this game, but this ain't one of them.
No, that wasn't one of them. And also, a lot of times, as a announcer, you don't watch LeBron. LeBron's making 2 times you're going to see him versus the Knicks. This is his only trip to the Garden. You think Walt Frazier's watching the Lakers play? I know he's not. I know he doesn't understand the body language. So when the game starts and in-game timeouts, when LeBron is in the lineup, he is in the structure of the huddle or sitting in one of those first few seats, because it's important when you start the game, the coach is going to tell you as far as your assignments, the first few plays, and the theme for which you're trying to march to. But after that, I've watched LeBron, not only in high school, but in the 3 previous stops. Once you're during the game, LeBron is sitting at the end of the bench. Now, I'm going to tell you, when you don't know that, it's hard to commentate on the game. So when you're looking at it, you can be like, oh, man, that does not look good. But if you know LeBron James or you know other NBA teams where guys go to the end of the bench. NBA players don't care nothing about this. Hey, Clyde, I'm going to tell you something, too. There was a time in the NBA when guys used to lay on the floor.
Yeah, AI used to lay on the ground.
Larry Bird.
Yeah.
They had back problems, and guys laid on the floor, laid at the end of the, up under the bucket. So this is not the first time, but I can understand LeBron James, who he is. Everything he does is overanalyzed, and he's going to get criticized just like he has in the past, more times for things like this, because that's the narrative, what people thought going into the game. To me, I don't think people listening to Clyde are taking his lack of expertise in this area and you know something, saying, you know something, yeah, I like LeBron, now I don't like LeBron. Those who did love LeBron loved him after this.
Stephen, why is he such an easy target, though?
Because he's so great. I mean, that's the only reason he's so great. Like he said, people have been waiting all this time, all his career to pick on him. But keep that same energy. Keep that same energy. Keep that same energy with dogging LeBron and dogging the Lakers, because I guarantee you they won't be in the same position next year.
This summer.
This summer or next year.
Well, and this is also, to me, symptomatic of why so many guys are so reserved and so hesitant to embrace any part of the media, because of how quickly people will turn on you. So many of the folks that are just talking about LeBron, not as a basketball player, but as a teammate, almost as his sports character. Last year, what were they saying when he and Jetty Osman are chest bumping after the game winner against Toronto? What were they saying last year when he seemingly was resurrecting Jeff Green's career? What were they saying a few years prior when guys were coming to Cleveland of all places, to play with LeBron. Like, we are 10 months removed from so many of these people almost, because there was no other choice, universally adoring what LeBron was doing. And now it's like, nope, this is how I really feel. Let me kill him for it. Because Walt, to me, came into the game with an agenda. He was going to get that point in there. He was going to get in there because this was such a weird time to do it. LeBron's been a bad teammate this year. Let me find a reason to show you why.
And the Lakers, after losing 2 in a row before this game, not even in those basketball games, having a St. Patty's Day matinee where LeBron James is playing in the Garden, where I called for LeBron 5 games ago to put him on the rack. I told Magic, if I'm Magic, we're getting ready to get into a fist fight.
Yeah.
All right? Because I'm not going to let LeBron play the rest of the season because I don't believe the optics are good for him. I thought he was playing above his weight. I think he's gotten that down some. So to criticize someone who's the face of if he didn't care, he wouldn't be out there. So you can't say, oh, he's at the end of the bench, he doesn't care. Well, there's another way. And that's by taking yourself out of the games, and that's what LeBron refused to do. Even though they were mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, he said, that's not who I am.
It's depressing coming from a former player.
From a Hall of Famer.
From a former player to me. It's crazy because we know we've all been in a position where we go sit at the end of the bench all the way at the end. This is not because of frustration. Sometimes that's the only seat, and sometimes you want to be down there to just refocus. Saying LeBron is a bad team and all the stuff that people are trying to imply because of their losing is sad, and that's people that don't know the game.
And you don't want that story with someone like Clyde, Hall of Famer, if you think so or not, like his commentary or not, like his dress or not. It just adds another log on that fire.
Yes.
Oh, LeBron's a bad teammate. Oh, he's not. He doesn't have an interest. Why did he sign a 4-year deal? He could have gave him a 1-year deal.
Fake news.
And the reason I mentioned the Hall of Famer part is I was at this game, and so I didn't see this happen live. And it got texted to me by someone in LeBron's circle because of how taken aback they were by it. And I don't think LeBron and a lot of guys care so much about what the average media member says about him, the Rick Bucher article, which was a hit piece. But the guys, when you are in that club with them, not only former player, but guys that are gold jacket club members for the NFL, so to speak.
Oh, I know this for a fact. And guys hate to do it. Man, me and Cam Newton, man, we had a nice powwow. And Cam said, man, I respect what you say. And you told me I'm supposed to be better. And I don't mind you criticizing me from where you're coming. But, man, up and down this league, man, I have had guys say, hey, man, people respect what you're saying. You're a Hall of Famer in this sport, and I didn't like it. And
it matters.
I try to be on top of it.
Respect it and check it. That's how I look at it. Respect it and check it.
And it will always matter more to like when we're talking NFL, and this is something you and I don't want to say struggle with, but we deal with before the show when we're talking about the topics. When we're talking about the NFL in particular, if Cris and I were to say the exact same thing, it's always going to matter more to the person we're talking about what he says, because he's been there, and he's been there. Like, and Steve, when we're talking about the NBA, like there is, and so it wasn't just a guy in my role, to be totally honest, killing LeBron. LeBron's been killed by people when he went to Miami, all these things, but someone who I feel should know better.
Supposed to know the game.
Supposed to know the game.
Supposed to know the game and know better, and a guy who is an all-time great. I thought it was unfair. I thought it was intentional and premeditated and unfair.
Stephen, thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
Great job.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.